Welcome to Clayton's Redneck Drum Lessons. Alright, so lesson 1. We're going to go over the basics of a drum set, the anatomy of the drum kit, whatever you want to call it. You may recognize a few of these pieces of gear that I have here with me today. So let's get into it, homie. So typically, people set up drum kits with the 3 toms right here, and then the bass drum, and then the snare drum, and then they have their hi-hat, 1 or 2 cymbals. I like 2. Sometimes they have more. And then they got their ride cymbal over there, which is kind of optional. Like Brother Josh at church, he doesn't use a ride cymbal, and he only uses 1 crash cymbal. So that's the first lesson, is learning the different names of each type of each piece of equipment. So like I said, hi-hat, crash cymbal, ride cymbal. Then you got your snare drum, your kick drum or bass drum. Then you got your 2 rack toms, and then your floor tom. And sometimes people have 2 or 3 floor toms, which, I mean, that's kind of crazy, but 1 floor tom is fine. And then sometimes people set these rack toms up to where it's just 1 up here, like Brother Josh at church. He only has 1 up here rather than 2 like I have it right now. So you can kind of play around with that. If you're in a tighter space at your house where your drum set is, you probably would want to do 1. But if you have more space, you can kind of, if you have enough drums, then you could put 2 up there. And then they come in different sizes too. Like obviously you can see how that one's bigger than that one. This one right here is 14 inches, and when I say the sizes, that means from one edge to the other edge. And sometimes it even says it up here, but this one doesn't say it. So this one's 14 inches, that one's 10 inches, 12 inches, and I believe that one's 18 inches. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, excuse me. No, that one's 16, I believe. And then that one's, the bass drum is 22. But snare drums, they also come in like different, they come in a lot of different sizes mainly. But 14 inches is the main, like, kind of like the standard. And then when you say like 14 inch by 5.5, when they say the next numbers, that means how tall this drum is. So this one's about 5.5 inches in height. And so like that one, I don't even know how tall that one is, but I mean, they're all different. And obviously you got your pedals, you got your hi-hat pedal, and you got your kick pedal. Sometimes people do 2 kick pedals, like the heavy metal players, they'll do 2 kick pedals, which I don't think you're gonna be playing heavy metal unless, yeah, anyways. So you got your kick drum pedal, your hi-hat pedal, and then in the kick drum, I don't know if you could see in there, there's not very good lighting, oh well. I have a pillow in there, and that kind of helps muffle the sound. So you could do that with your kick drum too. What I like to do is I like to lay like an edge of it up against this side of the drum, and then leave the other side with nothing against it. And that just kind of gives you a more punchy, kind of like, I don't know, not as resonant sounding. Because your kick drum, you want it to be kind of beefy and kind of, I'll show you in a little while, but people are napping right now in my house, whatever. And then so yeah, that's the kick drum. That's kind of how I set it up. And sometimes there's a hole, like you can see that hole on the other side on the other head. That's for a microphone. So if you ever mic'd up I'll just show you since I have time. You can put like all kinds of crazy stickers on here. I've put so many stickers on there, but that hole right there is for a microphone. The microphone's on a stand and it goes right in there. So that's kind of handy. And then you got on your rack kit right here, this whole piece actually comes up, and so you can adjust it and turn it however you want. And then this little hole right here is for like another stand that you can put a cymbal or something on. So if your drum set has that, that'd be cool. But I'm not sure. And then you got your stands that I gave you, and you got your hi-hat stand, so you're in good shape. You probably only have 1 cymbal though right now, but that's fine. That's good for starting out on. you want to see my first cymbal? Well, it's in my closet. I don't feel like digging it out. Anyways, I'll show you later. But the moon gel I gave you, that little round thing with the sticky stuff, that's what this is. This one's kind of beaten up, but there's a nicer one right there. But I usually put those on the edge of my drums to kind of, so like if you hit a drum, you'll hear it, it'll kind of ring after you hit it. And that's called an overtone. And those are good and bad. So usually on toms, you don't want any overtone or snares. So on snare drums, I usually had two, but I had to throw away the other one. But I got the tension on pretty high. I got it pretty tight around the edges, so I didn't need a second one. But then I definitely got ones on the rack toms, and they sound really good. And I used to have two on the floor tom too, because I wanted it to sound almost like the kick drum, to give it like a cool like effect. But I don't know. I just got one on there right now, and it sounds pretty good. Sometimes people put them on the underneath, like on the head underneath the drum. You could do that too if you don't like it on the top, but I guess I just didn't feel like putting it on the bottom, because sometimes they fall off too. So, but anyways, and on the snare drum, this little thing right here, I mean, you've probably figured it out already, but I don't know how yours is, but this thing kind of flips up. Sometimes snare drums have like a thing, it kind of flips off to the side like that. But this one has, it's kind of like a magnet, and it just turns the snares on. You can see the snares underneath there. They kind of come on and off like that. And then you have your little tension adjustment right here. So you want that pretty tight. You got your little nut right there to put your drum key on. Your drum key is that little thing I gave you to tune to fit on these little lugs right here to tune the drums. And I will talk about that in another lesson. But then something else that you might need, that you might want to get, is either a good pair of headphones or some earmuffs. I used to use earmuffs like for ear protection, so you don't hurt your ears, and that's really important because you're young and you need your hearing to last. So that's a good thing. I just use headphones, and I usually plug that into my phone and use a metronome. And a metronome is something else you'll need too. You can probably download that on your phone, and then plug your headphones into your phone, and you'll be good to go. But a metronome is just good for helping you keep time, and it's your best friend when it comes to drumming, because that's what drums are all about, is keeping time and staying on beat. So that's very important to practice with the metronome. And then optional, you could get when you get some money and start working, you can get you a nice chair to sit on. This one's really comfortable. It's got a back to it. But I started out on my mom's old makeup chair. She used to use this little beat up stool to do her makeup on. And then she gave it to me when she was done with it. And I use that for my drums. And then here I got a little stick bag holder that just holds all my drumsticks. Like if I drop one or break one, I can just grab another one real quick. And that just kind of clips onto the side of my floor tom right here. Sometimes they make ones that clip right here to the hi-hat stand, but I like this one better because it's usually my right hand that I drop one with when I'm like going around the drum kit. So that's really handy for just grabbing one real quick. I actually got that when I was in 7th grade when I played percussion, and so that was fun. But yeah, it's and do your research too. And Zildjian is a really good brand. That's the only cymbals I've ever used, and I used to use those when I played percussion, and when I tried out for the church band a while back too. That's what Brother Josh used, so that's what I use. He actually gave me that cymbal right there. So yeah, that was pretty cool, and it just matches all your other ones too, and it looks cool, looks nice. And they sell stuff to where you can shine it and stuff too, but that's really unnecessary. You could probably just wipe it down with a rag and it'll be fine. But yeah, just take care of your stuff, and it'll take care of you. And do your research and know what brands you'll like. I like, for drum heads, I like Remo, however you want to say it. But like on the bass drum down there, I have an Evans drum head. So it's really kind of trial and error. Like I used to have Evans on here, and I didn't like the way they sounded, so I put Remo on here once the other ones got bad. And I like the ways these sound the best. And it's all about training your ear too, and learning what you like, and kind of picking out your own style. That's what music's all about, is finding your own sound and having fun with it and experimentation. So yeah, just do your research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos to know all this stuff. A lot of YouTube videos, lots of hours watching YouTube videos. So yeah, that's how I learned everything about music. But hopefully this is helpful. I'll probably do another video for you maybe tonight or tomorrow when I'm bored as well. So yeah, see you later, bro.